Hi, thank you for clicking on this video. I don't know what compelled you to do so, but welcome. This is my first video. Um, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Just post that one video, the first, the big baby step that you have to do to overcome your anxiety or fear, what have you. Before I wanted to start a channel about dealing with the narcissistic abuse in relationships, specifically to help men deal with their now narcissistic abusive partner, mainly covert narcissist. Like I know the I know the term narcissism gets thrown around a lot. It's lost its value. Everybody's a narcissist now, and I think and I believe everybody has a degree of narcissism in them. Now in this age of social media, we everybody you know has some vanity in them about trying to present themselves better in their best version of put their best version out to the world, hiding their flaws and whatnot. um, so let me introduce myself. My name is Anas, and I had been married to a covert narcissist, and I had not known at the time. I had no prior knowledge of what it was in before. You don't know what it is until you get through it, right? So I was married for a couple of years. It was a long distance relationship, and then it was over. It didn't work out, and after a few months, some truths which I had suspected came out to be true, and then it led me down a rabbit hole on YouTube about covert narcissism and this personality trait. Now, I've always been interested in psychology, human psychology, and I always want to find out more about what makes a person them, right? What makes them tick? What's about them? Everything from astrology, um, you know Chinese astrology, Western astrology, all kinds of things. What kind of characteristics people have, what kind of behaviors they have, and why they have them. I could never figure my ex out at that time. She was a little off, and at that time it never clicked. But things came through after a while, and I came to see the truth. And for a long time, I was angry, and I felt like it was all her fault. I was of no blame, right? I carried that for a year or so. But after numerous interactions and listening to psychologists, and I came to the conclusion that as a man, I am responsible for everything that's happened to me. And with learning that, I and overcoming it, and I feel like healing is always a long-term process. You time they say time heals everything, but it's you have to do the work. You have to do the introspection and see. So I realized after my introspection that I was responsible for everything that has happened to me. It everything like it was my how I looked back before I used to ruminate about about things, about play scenarios into my head of how things were, how I acted, how they acted. And what you may call it, I after a while I realized that there was always signs, and it was all on to me that I should have made a boundary. I could have cut it off in way earlier than it went on. I Because I didn't have much knowledge about relationships. I was one of those guys who never was in a relationship before, prior to marriage, in a real relationship. Um, so it was all new to me. I was following that life mantra, happy wife, happy life. Yeah, that shit's not true, man. So yeah, I learned the hard way. Anyways, so I wanted to make a channel where I can help men stop ruminating, stop beating themselves up, and let lessen their anger and move on with their lives. You know, I'm not in a perfect place right now to be. I'm not saying I've figured it all out. I haven't figured life out, but as I do, I want to provide insights if possible. I did a lot of research, a lot of reading about this stuff, and it's not common knowledge about it. It's only people who have actually been through it, and then they want to seek answers of why, what happened, why did they go through? They didn't deserve what they got right, and I just felt a need to, before, like a few years ago when I discovered it, I was like, I can help men, just explain to them what covert narcissism is, right? And it only applies to people who know something about it. I'm not gonna. If you have some, very rarely you find out these things while you're in it. It's usually after the relationship is over, right? After you've been discarded, when you become no use to them, and they do it in very subtle ways, and you're left wondering what went wrong. And I just want to help with that process, either that, or if you recognize those patterns of a covert narcissist, right, and how to maneuver out of the relationship, right, how to make that other person disinterested. They say there's I think it was covert narcissism, or just narcissism in general. 1 in 25 people are diagnosed with it, like proper, you know, clinically diagnosed with it. So I'm sure with the advent usage of social media, that number will go much higher, and it's going at a much faster rate with all the social media apps that you have. And God help the next generation that comes after us. I'm like near 40 now, by the way. Like I'm 2 months shy of it. It's a new milestone, I guess. I feel good though. I feel good. Yeah. So this is my first video. There's nothing to subscribe to, but thank you for listening, and I hope you're having a good day wherever you are.